Well, hello, everyone. We're going to actually do a discussion breaking down the years of the 1980s, basically rocking the 80s. So obviously the year to start the 80s is the year 1980, and
Seems like a good starting point.
it was. It obviously we know what film came out this year, but we'll get to that in a sec. This was a lot of stuff was going on, but in the entertainment realm, we were getting out of the 70s. And we were getting into the 80s, and it would be a bright future from there on. So I guess who wants to go first on a specific entertainment thing? Movies or TV shows that came out in 1980? I have a list, but does anybody want to start first? And maybe we could go into a little detail about it.
Of 1980?
Yeah, just
specifically 1980.
Yeah, we're breaking it year by year by year.
Should we start? How should we start? Music, movie?
Oh yeah, I didn't think to look up a list of music.
I guess we can start with the well, you had the assassination of John Lennon, so that was a
No, that was 80.
that was a big deal musically, and to start the decade off,
Yeah.
There goes the top-notch Beatle.
That was
Yeah, it didn't look like a good start for music, but luckily, and it's kind of funny because 1980 and really even 81 are, to me, not really 80s yet as far as music goes. It was still kind of you really hadn't got like that new wave poppy sound in yet.
Yeah,
like,
right,
Duran,
right.
And,
but it was technically the beginning. I mean, we were getting out of the 70s.
Well, technically it was, but I'm saying like all the 80s stereotypes or like personifications that you think in 80s music, I don't think it was too major yet as far as 1980 goes. Like I mean, who would have been a big star in 80? Cinema? Do you know? I mean, Rod Stewart or
Well, Billy Joel. I was just looking at a list of popular songs, but like singles from the 1980 specifically, and Billy Joel, Air Supply is coming up, Elton John, Diana Ross.
Well, it seems like a lot of people from the 70s, like a lot
Olivia
of
Newton-John. Michael Jackson had his single "Rock with You." That was number 4 of the top 100. Jermaine Jackson, Kenny Rogers.
Yeah.
So just a bunch of different names that you recognize. I mean, like Stevie Wonder, Kool and the Gang.
I'm just saying, like a lot of those people had been around. I'm saying you really
already around,
right. You didn't hit that new wave of people like Madonna and Duran Duran.
Right. And Aha.
Until late, like that synth sound when you think of the 80s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hadn't got there yet,
No, not quite yet. No.
Yeah, obviously it was the 80s, but.
So I guess we could get this one crazy film out of the way. Who here has seen Airplane?
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've only saw part of it when it was on television a long time ago.
Not for me.
I know it's not for you. I mean, I know it's ridiculous, but oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. All I was gonna say is I wanted to go see it we were gonna have it in theaters a couple months ago.
Oh, for the comeback classics.
Yeah, and then COVID hit. This was like March.
It was supposed to come back to the theaters, and
yeah, I believe so. It was like early. I think it was like March or May.
Oh wow!
Come back. And
okay.
Quick thing. Speaking of 19, let's just remember that was 40 years ago this year.
Wow.
We're talking 40th anniversary here also.
That's terrible.
That's funny.
Yeah.
40.
Well,
Lord.
So 40th anniversary.
I know Airplane has that 70s vibe, but since it came out in 1980, count that. And it's so for people that have not seen it, when they're watching this video, Airplane, they're basically on this airplane and just some crazy stuff happen. I don't know much of the plot. I just know there's
puns and hijinks and Leslie Nielsen again.
Leslie Nielsen
and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's in there just for fun.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's not my favorite movie.
Sorry. Was that the one where originally it was supposed to be serious, and they couldn't get the film to be like the right feel, so they made it into a comedy?
You might be right about that. I'm
Interesting.
It was part of the disaster films of the 70s, and then it got pushed to the 80s.
that's
Right,
I
there were a
heard
lot of
that.
those.
I heard something about that. Like, they couldn't get the tone right.
Yeah, you might be right on that.
So they just turned it into a comedy. Okay.
Changed
I
it
didn't know.
completely. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like Leslie Nielsen. I don't know, something. I'm not huge into that, and I'm not like big into like those. Not that this was him, but like Mel Brooks type comedies. Or that one. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, Airplane came out that year, and I think
There were a lot of films actually that came out in 1980 that I had forgotten came out in 1980. If you go to IMDb and you look at the most popular films that came out in 1980, number one was The Shining.
Really? I thought it was Empire.
No, well, I'm just looking at IMDb. This is sorted by popularity. It's in ascending order, and The Shining was number one, and then Airplane was number two.
Yeah, it was a block.
And then that was followed by another crazy dumb comedy, Caddyshack.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And then of course Episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
And
You mean Episode 5?
I'm sorry, I read it wrong. Yeah, Episode 5. And then The Blue Lagoon, which I had completely forgotten about that movie, but I remember it now. I remember it was kind of it was a bit what's the word? Controversial, a little bit at the time, because it had Brooke Shields, and there was a lot of risque type elements to the whole story. And then the Blues Brothers, and then Cannibal Holocaust, which I did actually recently see. That is a brutal film.
Yeah, it is. It is very brutal.
I didn't know it came out. I thought it came out in the late 70s. I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, I had forgotten that too. It just popped out at me because I had seen Joe Bob Briggs did that on one of his little. Yeah.
So yeah, so basically we can talk about The Shining. That was I guess you could say the first horror film to come out in the 80s.
Well, Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, well, we forgot another one here.
What's that?
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that I was scrolling down the list, and there was Friday the 13th. A film I do remember pretty well. I remember being very infatuated with it, just kind of captivated by the visuals of it, was Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
I love the soundtrack. I didn't realize it was Queen at the time, because I wasn't aware of Queen, but I didn't realize until recently-ish that it was Queen that did the soundtrack to that. But I remember really liking that because it was so fantastical. And I thought that the guy who played Flash, Gordon, was really cute. I had a little crush on him. It's funny because he showed up. He was at our GalaxyCon a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, I think. And what happened was, following his panel, the Guardians of the Galaxy cast was supposed to come out, but that was canceled because they didn't come, and the auditorium was completely packed, standing room only, and he was finishing up his panel. And I remember thinking to myself, I wonder if he thinks that this crowd is for him, because it's not. It was for Guardians, and then I didn't happen.
Baby.
I felt a little bit sorry for him.
He must have known.
Yeah, if he knew the title, I guess he would have.
It's funny though.
So the two horror films that came out for the start of the 80s was Friday the 13th, an iconic film, and The Shining.
I'm sure there's more than just two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cannibal Holocaust has a little bit of a horror.
The Fog.
Oh yeah, then there was The Fog. Okay, so there was a few horrors here and there. The Fog, directed by John Carpenter. Who directed Friday the 13th?
Sean S. Cunningham is his name.
Okay, and who directed The Shining?
That's
Stanley. Yeah, Kubrick.
Okay, yeah. So for everybody listening on this discussion, there are these horror films if you're into that genre, and well, I've seen The Shining. To me personally, I was not a fan of it. Now, Friday the 13th, it's a crazy story because I kind of got spoiled by all the stuff that they were talking about because, Corey, remember when you were watching that DVD that was explaining the whole lore, I guess?
Oh,
And
yeah.
they
Were
just-
you talking about that?
I was recovering from...
That was last year? That was last year, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. And it's really like the lore itself is better than the films.
Mm-hmm.
Recovering the Friday the 13th, like the lore of Jason and everything is better than the actual films. It's kind of funny. And the first Friday the 13th is not the best.
Yeah.
I like.
The second one?
I like the second one quite a bit, and I like 6. It's weird. Like they picked like 3 not good, 4 a lot of people like, but I don't know. It doesn't resonate with me. 5 is bad. It's just bad, and 6 is actually pretty good.
I
Wait,
forgot
is-
what 6 was.
6
Is that
is
when he
actually
goes
like
to New York?
do what?
When
Is
he
that
went
what-
to New York?
Oh no, that's like 8, I think.
Oh,
It's
okay.
terrible.
Yeah, I saw it on
Yeah,
just playing a little while back.
there's some like humor to it, and you can tell like the production value's just up the notch. I don't know, it's weird. That it was
Cheesy.
in the 6th entry,
Mhm.
but
Okay.
yeah, we'll have to watch that.
Okay. Because I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, I never, I don't know, I've never really got into that series. I mean, from what I've
Yeah.
heard from you, Corey, you said like they're not the best films,
They're just
but
they're fun watches. And
Yeah.
like I said, the first one. I mean, the best part of the movies is probably Jason, and I don't think this is a spoiler. I don't want to spoil nothing, but he's not really in the first one, so.
Yeah.
and then
The best
got-
part of the first one is the ending to me, but
then there's the fog, which
Yeah.
has to do with supernatural elements. when it
John
comes to
Carpenter
ghost-
movie.
Yeah, Ghost Ship. I actually like that film. That was a decent film.
yeah.
Another John Carpenter production, which is
Mm-hmm.
and he makes pretty good horror films. And then The Shining, which is a psychological, sort of. I guess would you call it psychological? I mean, the main character or one of the main characters goes a little loco in a hotel.
I also think it's which version you watch, if it's more supernatural or psychological. Because I
Oh,
think the
there's
book,
more than one?
there was one about 10 years after that they did. It was more faithful to the book.
Oh, okay.
And Stephen King. didn't
Oh, was that on
like the-
TV?
Yeah, I believe it is. It's like a miniseries. It's 3 hours.
Okay,
Kind of like,
I vaguely remember that now.
I've not seen that.
And I think he said it was supposed to be more of a haunted house, and then Kubrick wanted to make more of a psychological film.
Yeah, I know Steven didn't want Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, and he, I think the car that was supposed to be in the novel, they show smashed up in the movie. Because they drive a different car.
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
Don't quote me, I remember hearing something, like apparently Stanley Kubrick and Stephen King really didn't like each other.
Oh.
And they got
Oh
into fights.
my.
Yeah,
How awkward.
just look it up.
I believe it.
Yeah.
It's just I didn't realize that.
Well,
Yeah.
it's funny because
It's a strange dynamic because The Shining is it's pretty popular. It's considered
Yeah.
one of the best.
Stephen King
you know.
doesn't like it though.
I know that's
Yeah.
so funny.
it's because didn't he direct it in a different way than how the book was?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they were talking about. Yeah.
Well, and he didn't want Jack Nicholson because Jack Nicholson is kind of already a little unhinged, you know, just being Jack Nicholson. And I think he wanted somebody more, like subdued to go into that.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, I thought it worked, but
Yeah.
But it's funny that The Shining would be number one because
Well, that's just the IMDb list. If you're going to go by what made the most money, I don't know.
I think
I would
Star
just-
Wars did.
Yeah,
But-
actually, you're right because I did see a list of American highest grossing American films, and you're right. The Empire Strikes Back was number one at 239 million, and then
Speaking of-
Airplane.
Speaking of Star Wars, to rock the 80s, Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. I mean, what else is there to say
Yeah.
there? It was a continuation of the 77 film.
Mhm.
And, you know,
It was a good sequel. It was better.
yeah, it was better and it was darker and it was
Mhm.
also, I don't know, you kind of have this feeling of, what do you call it? Like, I remember when I watched the first one, like here and there when I was a kid, it felt more brighter, but this one felt more gloomy.
Dark. It was darker.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it wasn't like it felt like it wasn't the same anymore with what they were going through
Mhm.
in like the previous film. It felt like there was just a lot of down in the dumps, trying to get away.
Well, because it had a down in the dumps ending. I mean, it kind of broke the formula of the first one.
Yeah, it really did, and I saw some interviews of people just saying, you know, they liked it, or one woman said they liked it, but they didn't like the ending. I mean, it was a bummy ending. I mean, yeah, like 2 years later we'll get it, but the
It grew
sequel,
on me. I didn't used to like it, but now
Yeah.
it is, to me, it is. I want to say Return of the Jedi is the best, but the Ewoks kind of kill that part for me.
Mhm.
So I guess as far as quality of the story, I mean, I love the final showdown between Luke and his father.
Yep.
To me, that was really impactful. But the Ewoks are just.
They
I
weren't
don't
going to
know.
be Ewoks originally.
Do what?
I think in the original thing with Return of the Jedi, they were going to be Wookiees.
No.
And then they
Yeah.
but I was going to say, don't forget, it's also a sequel to the holiday special.
I don't.
Yeah, I know. You always insert something in there. But
Like the Ewoks themselves, you know, I think they're fine if they were used in doses, maybe. But
Yeah.
like the battle scene with the Ewoks,
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it as a kid, so
Yeah, I
But
mean, it does appeal to
hard.
a younger audience.
right. And the thing is, Return might have the greatest like scene in the whole Star Wars lore, you know, the ending showdown, but
Mhm.
yeah,
Empire itself kind of like really went more into the lore with Yoda
Yeah.
and the Force and Vader. It just kind of,
Right.
I don't know, brought you more into that world.
Yeah, I feel like it was a better sequel. That like it was a better film than the one that came before it. Just like how I feel like so Superman 2 also came out in 1980.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that film better than the first Superman. I don't know if it has higher ratings, but it just kind of made me think of that.
Which cut's your favorite of Superman 2?
Well, I only have seen what I guess is just the one
Oh,
cut.
so you haven't seen the Dahmer cut?
The what?
The director's original vision for
No, I
Superman
don't
2.
think I have.
I think the ending was slightly different.
Okay.
He kind of I'm gonna have to remember what the difference is, but there were slight differences. It's kind of like what they're doing next year with the Justice League movie,
Oh, okay.
where it's a little longer and there's some minute differences.
Okay. Richard Donner. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I did not know. I've only seen the one.
So you say you like it better than the original?
I did like it better than the original.
Did you see it in the 80s or probably after when it came out?
No, I saw it in the 80s on tape. I saw it. I think I saw it with Lisa and them, Corey,
Oh.
with your family.
Hmm.
I think I did.
Yeah, so Superman came out in 1980. I guess you could say that was one of the superhero films of 1980.
I don't know if there were any more superhero films of 1980. I have to see.
Well, Superman was
I'm
the only one I
scrolling
could...
down the list. There was.
Oh,
yeah,
go ahead, Matt.
No, I was gonna say a lot of superhero stuff came out in like the late 70s,
Mm-hmm.
and then it skipped. They had 70s Japanese Spider-Man came out in the late 70s. The 2 live-action Captain America movies, TV pilots came out in the 70s.
Mm.
Yeah, Matt showed me a picture of like a 70s Captain America with a
Oh, yeah.
motorcycle helmet.
Yeah. I've seen pictures of that.
Oh yeah, all the spandex and the weird shield and the motorcycle helmet.
Oh, Lord.
Another thing that came out in 1980 was The Blues Brothers. I have never seen that film.
Oh, it's
Have any of you
great.
guys? Have
I
any?
saw it.
I
What-
liked it.
You,
Yes, I like it. Yeah.
Mom? I'm
Not
gonna-
a fan. Not a fan.
Yeah, when I heard you say I saw it, I already knew like
But it's very popular. I mean, it does have a pretty big fan base.
To me, quite a bit better than Airplane, just in my opinion.
well, what's it about? I never knew what it was about.
Aren't they from Saturday Night Live? Wasn't it a movie they made about the Saturday Night Live characters? Or
Yeah, but they're
Yeah.
on like a mission from God, basically.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
remember what the mission is. It's actually kind of a musical too.
Yeah.
Were they was it saving the orphanage that they grew up in, or was it
Oh,
the
that's
church
it.
that they went to?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And I just like when they got the mission.
It's good. I mean, I like it. I've not seen it forever.
I think
I vaguely remember, didn't one of them like get pulled up, like a spotlight hits them and they get kind of pulled up and they're shaking?
I've not seen it in so long.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
one part that sticks out to me is the part when they're driving through the mall and like cops are chasing them.
Yeah.
oh, really. I don't.
Yeah, they're in a car
Okay.
chase through the mall and everything. I remember that, and I remember a part when they go to like some honky tonk bar, like in Texas or something, and they don't know any country music, so all they sing is like Rawhide the whole time.
Oh,
Like
jeez.
the theme song to Rawhide, so they don't know other country or something like that.
Yeah, I've never seen that movie. I mean, the only time I heard about it was I think in Drake and Josh when they kind of did like a thing with it.
They
That's
like I
kinda-
said, it's kind of musical. So the Aretha Franklin's in it. Ray Charles is in it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
A few
Yeah.
other, it's pretty good.
So I actually have one TV show that came out in 1980 and it went until 88. It was Magnum.
Magnum. Dun 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 dun. Oh, that was a good show.
Yeah, I saw only like what you were watching, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
It does have that nice, relaxing
It's cozy.
80s Hawaiian, you know.
Yeah, it's
Place
cozy. I mean, it gives you warm fuzzies. It gave me warm
Yeah.
fuzzies.
Mhm.
That's
When
what I
did,
felt when I first saw clips of it.
When did Dallas come out? Was that
Hey,
before the
look.
80s?
Well, I remember
That was
Let me
popular, like, probably in 80, but I don't.
it was pretty okay. Whoa, seriously? It ran from 1978 to 1991. I remember, okay, so one of the main things I remember about Dallas was the whole Who Shot JR.
Yeah,
That was huge.
I know what
That show was hugely popular. I remember Grandma was just obsessed with it, and I think it came on Friday nights. But-
So, did you ever watch Magnum in the 80s, Mom, or no?
I saw episodes of it in passing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I knew of it, and then when I went to live with Grandma for a little bit when I was going to college, and it was in reruns by that point, I think. And so I watched it probably more then. Let me look and see how long it ran.
Magnum, like,
Yeah, it was
It's-
done by the time.
so he's like a war veteran from Vietnam.
Yeah.
And he's living in a celebrity's house, like part of the house.
I don't know if the guy is a celebrity. He's just a very rich man. And I don't remember what exactly he did. But he lived in the house, and I thought he was sort of in charge of like security type stuff or whatever. But he was also a detective. He would also solve mysteries for people. They would contact him and reach out, to him for help.
The
Yeah, I don't know
show
if
it
anything
with
of
that court.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know much of anything of it.
I think you might like it.
It was really fun. It was comedic, but it was also serious, and it was a mystery. But what was really good about it was the interaction between the main characters. So you had Magnum, then he I think he had a buddy named Rick, and I can't remember the other guy's name who was a helicopter pilot. And then Higgins was the guy who had the estate, and there was this funny dynamic between all three of them. But the dynamic between Higgins and Magnum was especially funny because Higgins was very straight-laced and very, just rigid and just very disciplined, and Magnum was not.
Yeah. The one scene it was a preview for the episode, was whenever he fired that cannon and he looked all proud, almost like hit Magnum, and Magnum he's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, it was the dynamic with them was really, excuse me, there goes my Terminator theme. That was what made it so much fun, was just the characters. They were pretty well fleshed out, and they had a really good chemistry with each other. They worked well together, in other words. So that was.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go. I was going to say I was just going to reiterate that was.
The show, when each episode, it kind of reminded me of, cartoons where they'll have an episode, but then the next episode and then the episode after that, like they have nothing to do, almost like nothing to do with each other, sort of. It kind of reminded me of that, Magnum. Now, if the one episode happened here, it will follow to like maybe a few episodes later. That's what I saw when I saw my mom watching it. I was kind of like, well, I don't want to give much away. There was just this one episode that my mom was saying that was kind of sad because something happened. But the next episode, it was almost like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
One reference to it, but not to the extent. And it's only until like episodes later that it's referenced again. That's kind of might throw you off a bit when you watch Magnum.
Maybe it was aired out of order. I actually don't really even remember.
We watched it in order on Netflix.
But just because they have it in a certain order in Netflix doesn't really mean that's when it's chronologically happening.
CBS does that. I was watching JAG on CBS because I wanted to watch NCIS in order. And it's a spin-off, and after you get past season 1, there's missing episodes.
No.
It's all copyright. They took scenes from other movies, and they didn't have the rights to show the episodes anymore.
But Magnum is a fun show, and it went on for about 8 years.
Yeah, it ended in 88.
Yep.
It's because people got mad at what happened in season 7, I think. But yeah, the finale.
Yes, and I didn't see it at the time that it happened when it first aired, but I did see it at Grandma's house a little while after, and I can see why people were upset.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he was ready to be done, but they came back and they finished it up and kind of brought it to a little bit of a more agreeable sort of conclusion than how it ended at the end of the other one. I mean, I certainly preferred the way they came back and finished it up as opposed to the way it had originally ended earlier.
But what's funny, see, Magnum, when I saw some stuff of Magnum, it just looked like almost like a cop / detective work or dealing with bad. But then you have supernatural stuff to it.
There were some hints of supernatural things in it, but not very heavily. Just things like a ghost or something like that.
And then you have that one episode because the actor was going to be Indiana Jones. But
that's right. He was supposed to be Indiana Jones originally.
I can see that.
And they had an episode that was all reference to that.
I forgot about that.
He had the hat. He had the web, he had the coat.
That's funny. I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah, it was. I actually sat down and watched that one all the way.
I could see him being Indiana Jones, or could have.
Yeah.
But I think he was busy with Magnum.
I think that was it was probably that. I think that was the issue. It was a scheduling conflict, so he couldn't do it. I mean, it worked out well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Harrison Ford is perfect as Indiana Jones. So
it would have been interesting though. Like, what would have happened if it was alternate where it was him that did Indiana Jones? I mean, I don't know. Hi guys, thanks for watching part 1 of episode 9 in this series of Rocking the 80s. If you like what you saw here, please subscribe. Also, you could follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to be part of the Arturelia community like Corey Michaels Movies, Sin's Corner, and a few others, including my sister from SkyArt Amy, then you could click the link here or in the description, the Discord server. You could be a part of the Arturelia community and just hang out, share some, well, yeah, if you're into the 80s, you could share some 80s stuff. Or, you know, whatever you want to share, I guess. You know?